Up to now, I've mostly been recording 60s style songs in a fairly traditional way. Simple mic setups, real tape machines, capturing performances more or less as they happen. But some of the most interesting records of that era weren't traditional at all. By the mid-60s, the studio itself had become part of the instrument. In this episode, I want to lean into that side of things, not just polishing a song, but exploring how to create a feeling by pushing sound, experimenting with effects, and breaking the usual rules. At this stage, I'm still not convinced that it's actually a good idea, but let's see what happens. Before I start pulling the track apart with sound effects, I want to get the main song down first. This is the backbone that everything else builds from. I'm using the Tascam 688 as the main multi-track for this session. It gives me 8 tracks on cassette with a full mixer and very hands-on workflow. I'll start with an acoustic guitar as a foundation and build everything up from there. Here's my tracking plan so you can get an idea of what's going on. I'll add bass and drums next and then move on to vocals. I want to layer the harmonies on this one to add that slightly dreamy vibe you get in those psychedelic records from the 60s. Now the core elements are locked in, let's try some spacey sounding lead guitar and a simple Mellotron part to lift the chorus. All the main instrumentation is down, so let's have a listen to where we are at the moment. There's the main band, so we've got bass, drums and acoustic, lead on 4. Right, vocals are on 5, 6 and 7.
Time machine.
And I'll have a Mellotron part coming in here in the chorus.
We're little fish swimming up a stream. We're little fish swimming up a stream.
Okay, that's how things are sounding at the moment. Let's move on and I'll show you what's happening with the external sounds on the 424. The core of the song's in place, so what I'm interested in now is experimenting with layers of sound and seeing how they work together around the main structure. The 688 acts as the main multi-tracker for this session, and the Tascam 424 becomes a secondary sound generator. Something I can drop in and out to create some different effects. The idea for this tape is a set of sounds to give the feeling of time passing. I've created those by recording several different sources. The first 2 are a wall clock and old mechanical metronome. The third is a sustained Mellotron drone, which I've warped by changing the tape speed as it's recorded. The final track is Birdsong, which I captured in nature on one of my previous videos where I was outdoors with the 4-track. I'm also running the 424 through a Zoom multi-effects pedal to add some extra spacey reverbs and delays. Okay, let's have a listen to the sound effect tape. Right, no effects on at the moment. Right, so that's everything turned up. I've got the clock on track 1, metronome on track 2, then the Mellotron 3, and Birdsong on track 4. I mean, they sound okay as they are, but maybe they can be kind of spiced up a little bit. So let's add some effects from the Zoom to see how that sounds. I'm going to start just with the Mellotron sound to get going. So let's press play again. Right, so let's turn the effects up. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it might not be quite period correct, but I quite like the sound of that. It certainly gives it a bit of atmosphere and space. But yeah, but let's try another bank. Not bad as well. Now, I quite like the sound of that actually. Well, let's take it down a little bit and bring the other parts back in. That will certainly add some atmosphere. I'll have a little play off camera, but I think one of those settings should be a good starting point. Next step is to sort out the effects sends on the main mix. I've got a reverb and delay going on at the moment. I've not got the effects dialed in yet, apart from those tracks, so let's work out what settings we need. Let's focus on the vocals. Here's the main melody.
Or is it a trick of the mind?
There's a bit of tape delay.
We're little fish swimming up a stream.
And some plate reverb on the backing vocals there.
Life is becoming surreal.
I think that sounds about right. Having the reverb on the backing puts it at a different space, makes it sound further back, and I think the tape delay in the main vocals gives it that 60s vibe.
As we are drifting through time,
Let's try adding some reverb on the Mellotron as well.
we're lost in this stream, with tiny grains tumbling in a stream.
So I think that sounded okay. I'll take those out and let's have a listen to the drums and bass. I want to add a bit of reverb on the drums, I reckon. So let's play those back. So that's without any reverb. And there's a bit of plate reverb. Nothing. Too much probably. I think about there sounds right. Yeah, I reckon things are in the ballpark. Let's try a final mix with the external sounds from the 424. This part feels like a performance in itself. I'm balancing the main instrumentation on the 688 with the experimental background sounds on the 424. It's a bit like trying to play an instrument at the same time as mixing, so it'll probably take me a few times to get it right. Okay, I've had a few run-throughs off camera, and here's the final mix captured in real time.
The distinction between the past, present and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. Once you've travelled, the voyage never ends. And remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
Is this a time machine? Or is it a trick of the mind? We're little fish swimming up a stream. We're little fish swimming up a stream. Life is becoming surreal as we are drifting through time. We're lost in this stream, with tiny grains tumbling in a stream. It's a silver theme, it's an endless stream, it's a crazy dream. This is a time machine.
Nothing is yours except the essential things: air, sleep, dreams, sea in the sky, all things tending towards the external.
So there we have it. It's not always about getting things perfect, it's about letting the sound take you somewhere unexpected. Somewhere along the way, I stopped worrying about whether it made any sense and just had some fun with it. I'm going to continue developing, writing the songs for this album over the next few weeks, and I'll be back soon with the next episode. As always, be interested to hear what you thought about the track, and drop your comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.